Hey everybody, Juan here, and today we're going to take a quick look at the video quality of the camera module on the Motorola Photon Q LTE on Sprint. It's a decent little 8 megapixel shooter. I do think it has a tendency to slightly overexpose, but here in our flower and vine test, camera module does a very good job of not getting confused between foreground and background elements, even as my shaky hands are sort of wobbling this image all over the place. It's sort of locked on here, and it's doing a pretty good job of reproducing color. I think it's a touch bright, but ultimately video I think looks pretty good as long as you're given a good light to work with. Okay, moving into our movement test. The camera module seems to be tracking movement just fine. This is always one of those tests where cell phone cameras seem to get a bit confused, where as cars are turning through this intersection, they'll start trying to follow whatever's closest to the camera module. For the most part, as long as objects are moving quick, it seems to lock onto the CVS pharmacy sign and leaves it alone. You can see here again, video is just a touch overexposed. Thankfully, it's keeping the blue in the sky. Like, the sky isn't blown out like you might see on an HTC One X. But you can see how colors are not quite as vibrant as they could be. They're just all a little washed out. Stopping down your camera, just a half stop on the exposure, helps tremendously with pulling out color detail on this camera. Moving right along to our transition test, and here you can see as we move from light to dark, the camera responds very quickly, and it makes very appropriate adjustments to make sure that detail is maintained. You'll see as we move around the room that there is that tendency to overexpose. You can see this element gets really, really bright here, and then as we move back outside, it takes a little longer to recover from dark to light. In our low light test, video quality is actually pretty good. One of the things that's interesting about this camera is that it has difficulty with white balance in low light. Once you actually start recording video, you can see this actually looks pretty good. It's a little grainy, it's a little noisy, it's definitely dark and muddy. But when we move to, I took video of the exterior of the camera, and you'll see about 10 seconds as the camera gets really confused. And this is something where I think Motorola needs to update the camera app with some software, because this makes it very difficult to try and get a bead on what you're trying to do composition-wise. So hopefully Motorola will get this fixed in a software update, or hopefully an update to Jelly Bean, which would be really nice for this great little camera. All in all, it's not bad. It's a very solid 8 megapixel shooter which shoots very solid 1080p video. You can catch my full review of the Photon Q on yourtechreport.com, and I hope you'll check it out. Thanks for watching, guys.